Alright, this will be the second video for the day. I literally just finished recording the It's Too Late video. And so then I just kind of turned around and went to here. So, this will be the vlog update. Oh, what am I looking at in the world? Jeez. That blue and yellow shit got stagnant real quick. The dum-dums are so confused. I think they might be starting to wake up a little bit. I'm not sure. The thing is, I thought they were going to wake up a few other times, and they almost did, and then they changed the program, and all of a sudden they support the current thing again, whichever it may be. Scrotus is being protested by a bunch of people. The same people are protesting the politicians that they blame for making promises, not following through. Like, oh my gosh, who would have thought the Democrat Party would be the party of bait and switch? Oh wait, I've been saying that for years and years and years and years and years. So I call these people dum-dums. Dum, 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 dum. Let's see what else. Potatoes is still potatoes. Nothing's getting better. Saw that Trump had Dr. Oz and the head of Johnson & Johnson at a rally, and both of them got booed. So the important thing to know is, while these people may yet vote for him, and maybe that's the whole, like with Jumanji Brown, they were like, somebody in a comment somewhere, I was like, this is so dumb. I mean, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, whatever, but this is ridiculous. Doesn't matter, we got in. Oh, really? So that's what it's gonna be with Trump. It doesn't matter, we got in, right? But so the thing is, the people in the crowd were there to support the guy who's a very charismatic speaker and who they thought, and it's like, over time, his establishment corporate nature is becoming obvious. He has shifted in a bit from, in a way, a little bit, I should say, from where he was. He's not that far off from where he was. It's just right now he's thinking, well, it's one of those things where you gain popularity by saying what people are needing to hear. And as people continue this popularity, there comes a point where you think, oh, see, I'm directing the people to like these things. And it's like, no, the people wanted these things and you directed them. Said, okay, well, we're going to pivot now. We're going to shift and go change into this other thing. And then the people are like, no, that's not what we need to hear right now. So Trump's back in this fake TV doctor who's kind of an idiot and obviously has had way too much plastic surgery. And people aren't having it. This guy's running against a black woman on the Republican ticket. Not to say that the black woman is a Democrat. She's a Republican. I believe her name is Kathy Barnett. I think I've heard her speak somewhere before. She's pretty cool. So here you have a lady who is running on grassroots, America First, what the people need to hear kind of stuff. And the president, the MAGA king, as they're calling him, which I gotta say, MAGA king is better than God Emperor of the United States. Because I'm sorry, bro, that dude is not the God Emperor. So, nor would I kneel to such a god emperor. So, Trump is pushing this shitbag TV doctor who pushed establishment narrative misinformation under the guise of medical truth or whatever. And the state political establishment in the primary for the Republican Party is trying to push this black lady out in favor of the plastic surgery faced fake TV doctor that Trump's pushing. Do you see the divide going there and you see the issues? Simultaneously, the issues and divide going on the Democrat Party are that you've got your corporate establishment war hawk people, right? And you've got like AOC saying we need to go to war. You've got your abortion activists that are, knocking on Alito's door, but they're knocking on Pelosi's door too. And it's not that they're turning on their own or anything. It's that they're protesting at Pelosi saying, you said you were going to fix this and you never did. So then all of a sudden there's this last ditch effort of a probably pre-written law that they had waiting for just such a moment where they would attempt to codify the federal aspect of Roe versus Wade, and it failed, and let the court decide because they were unwilling to make a law in the first place. And here's the thing, making a law isn't going to be enough. What they need to do if they want to make that a right is they're going to have to go through the process of ratifying an amendment to the Constitution, which is intensely difficult. And based on most of the poll information, I don't think it would pass. I think future consequences that people won't admit to, based on the reasoning of attempting to make true pro-choice abortion the ability to just terminate pregnancy because reasons, even if it's viable and it was a decision that was made or whatever, like, oh, I've changed my mind, take the car back to the dealership, get a different one, or just walk out of the dealership. Like, okay. If they were to attempt to codify that or make that a federal constitutional amendment, it could be interpreted through the language that they would use about terminating a life, et cetera, that number one, that whole child support thing that Tim Pool brought up could come out, but also the right of an individual to duel and or assassinate for matters of honor would eventually come about. So be careful what you wish for. I'm not making a threat or anything like that. I'm just saying it is going to be a thing where things like that will come of a right to kill in the Constitution, which effectively negates life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which is the original formulation of what constituted the natural rights. And it was not limited to, it was just including those. But that most of them stem from interpretations of those three basic things. The right to life, which is to live, to, survive, to defend yourself. The liberty to not be enslaved, to not be forced into anything, to not necessarily be coerced. And the pursuit of happiness, which is to not be coerced, to do the things you want to do. This is not necessarily to say to do things that are unhealthy for you, unless that's, I guess, what you want to do. And really, technically, you can't tell anyone not to, right? Smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, whatever. Yeah, there are life consequences. But if you were to say you're not allowed to do those things, you would be literally legislating a type of morality. And I thought that was the whole issue with the abortion debate, was that people on the left are saying the right is trying to legislate morality, and you can't do that. So anyways, that's kind of what everybody else is talking about. Yesterday marked my 42nd time around the sun. I did not schedule myself off from work. It was in fact on a day of the week, which if you've seen previous, about 4 or 5 videos ago, a person I referred to as that fucking guy was not scheduled for the night. And I was like, hey, cool. With that fucking guy out of the way, I stand to make some money. He's not there, I'm there, it's my birthday, yeah. And so for the first about 4 hours of the night, it was like that. There were plenty of runs. I had to wait about 15, 20 minutes, almost a half hour to get on the clock because they had other people waiting ahead of me to clock in because they weren't that busy. And as soon as the rush hit, and we were good. Roundabouts the time that the rush started to subside, the other drivers should have been sent home. The rushes took a long time. They got the early rushes out, but the late rushes they kept way too late. For the amount of business that we had, the amount of deliveries that were coming through, I should not have been waiting for half hour to 45 minutes in between runs for the last 2 hours of the night. Should not have been. Now, granted, I was asking around of everyone else from the point of about 9 to 11, almost up to 12, had anybody else had a substantial or even adequate tip on a delivery since about 10 o'clock. And the answer was no, from what I could gather. Maybe some other people were getting them and they weren't talking about them or whatever, but it seemed like everybody that was ordering for those 2 or 3 hours was just trash. There was chump change, 5%, no tip. I actually had an abnormally high number of less than 10% tips, which were still substantial tips overall, enough money to warrant the run being worth it. But if we're doing a tip, gratuity is percentage based unless you are giving somebody a bonus or sending a message. So to pre-tip on the app before even knowing who your driver is or how the service is going to be at less than 10%, and then not even have money handy or anything for an extra bit, come on. So I did all right, but the thing is, about, I don't know, it's probably been 2 or 3 weeks now, I had a video where I was also talking about an out-of-town manager coming in and how I had called out on a day as protest, and it turned out that everybody else had called out too. Nobody wanted to work with that guy because he kept his drivers there entirely too long. And it was just a repeat of that Saturday, but on a Thursday. And the reality is I made exactly the same amount of money on this Thursday as I did on that Saturday, which is dumb because that Saturday would have been probably 140 instead of 99 had things gone properly. And last night would have probably been about 115 to 120 instead of 99 had things gone properly. Because at the very least, even if they were all stiffs, they would have come out in such a way that they could have all been doubled up by the 2 closers and the late driver up until maybe midnight and then send the late driver home. Instead, what happened was the late driver stayed to close. And I, as a closer, did not take a run for the last hour, but the late driver and the other closer did. To the point that I literally had all of the dishes completed by the end of the ordering time of 1 o'clock, and went out and sat for about 20 minutes in my truck to wait for there to be the last couple of things off the make line to get done. And the manager, who was busy obsessing over some shit that I really don't want to talk about on here, but it's not cool. And when I say obsessing, I mean to a manic degree, literally manic. Was too busy bothering with this other shit, trying to convince people that he was right, trying to convince himself that he was right about something, that he did not send the drivers home when they should have been. Everybody was standing around waiting. I got all the work done, and then this dude has the nerve to try and be like, well, you know, here's a run though. And I said, yeah, but that's going to be this other guy's run. I haven't had a run since 12. So then he says, well, I got all this stuff over here if you want to help me with that. It's going to take me a minute yet on that, haha. And I said, yeah, that's a big fuck no. I actually said this to the manager. I said, that is a big fuck no. I said, it's bad enough that it's my birthday and I ain't made shit for the last 4 hours. That I've literally not had an adequate, let alone nice tip since before 10 o'clock. It is now 1. But well, at this point, it was about 12:45. No further orders came in. I said, it's bad enough that it's my birthday. Oh, it's your birthday? I don't know that much is anything. I did, bro. I said it to you directly yesterday after midnight. I said, hey, look, I'm officially 42. And everybody was, oh, wow, happy birthday, bro. I didn't think I should be broadcasting that. I feel like it's, for me, an asshole thing to do. And I'm like, hey, look at me, guys. It's my birthday. Fucking center of attention. I don't want that. I just want to have a good birthday. And let me tell you, up until that point at about 9:30, 10 p.m., where it really just went, it was a great birthday. I woke up early. I felt good. I went into town. Holy shit. I'm sorry. I got one cat hunting another cat, and the cat was up on top of the grandmother clock, and she just did this right over top and on down. That was, wow. Anyways, I woke up. I went to town. I bought some goodies. I came back. Enjoyed the goodies. It was one of those things where the radio was playing my favorite songs. The reaction channels that I subscribed to were coming out with reactions that were to some of my very favorite songs. Things that I'm like, wow, that's cool, awesome, happy birthday me. The Event Horizon Telescope, their team released the composite image of their collated extrapolation of the, you can't even describe what it is. It's part photon ring, part event horizon, part, well, it's not event horizon, you can't see that, but it's this really weird, relativistically altered, and in this case, extremely blurry, because the thing that they're taking a picture of is so tiny. But what they managed to get is this amazing image that does in fact imply a rotating, superheated plasma in a disk with some really wild space and time bending effects. An infinite number of copies of an event horizon printed onto a perfectly black space. Like, whoa. So, for my birthday, now I was always into space as a kid, super big into space. My dad was an astronomer. He got that from being in the Navy. He loved the stars. I was all about the science of the planets and all that stuff, right? So for me on my birthday to get that was amazing, right? And all day up to that point, it was like that because I got to work, I got to chill out, everybody was in good mood. That fucking guy wasn't there for work at all. He didn't even show up that night. It was great. And it was banging. I was doing really good. Nice tips. Even the 15% on big orders and it was nice. I was making way more than I normally like to get as at least a basic bare minimum average. And had that trend continued, I would have probably made about 150. But the trend didn't continue. And we had too many drivers. And the guy in charge was too busy obsessing over this inappropriate and totally not cool, feel like respect points are being lost by the minute kind of thing. Some gamma male shit. And then it just went. So at first I was like, well, it can get better. And then after a while I was like, hey, are you guys also not getting tips? And then after a while it was like, Jesus fucking Christ, I wish these people would stop ordering. Because I'm about to just go stick up people that I deliver to oh, there's a zero. Cool. Give me all your money. And then it just kind of dropped off and I went inside and got all the dishes done. I'm just banging them bitches out. I got it all done. And I'm like, okay, standing around. Oh, hey, you want to help me? I'm still kind of behind. Nah, bro. You were too busy doing that thing. And it's my birthday. And I'm a bit salty because I'm probably not going to crack a hundo. I should crack a hundo on a Thursday night at the very least. And because it was my birthday and the fucking tips were rolling in, I should have got more. And it's not just about the money, but why else am I there? It's about the fact that standing around doing nothing, everybody that was there as a rush was like, man, why am I still here? Like they're trying to be jokey about it and kind of, ease in on this guy. But this dude has got some anger issues and he will literally just trigger and flip a switch. If you try and criticize or anything like that, hey, bro, can we please, look, I'm fucking, or he'll just be like, yeah, you know what? No, I'm just going to keep him to the end. Cool, bro. No matter what happens, you're fucking me. So by the end of it, he was like, okay, well, I'm going to be here for a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and get your money clocked out and shit. I was like, cool, bro. And I finished the dishes off. Is your money in the office? Yeah, bro, it's been in the office. I killed 20, 25 minutes out front of the store before going in, dropping my money off, finishing a bunch of other stuff, helped out a whole ton of stuff. I gladly helped the other closer because he did not fuck me tonight, whether it was inadvertently or advertently. Overt, is that the word? So I helped him a bit until my money was given to me. Okay, cool, great, good to go. I can clock out. All right, beep, boop, boop. I didn't even say fucking goodbye. And it wasn't my music playing on the speaker. It was the other closer. He had been on he's what he called a headbanger's ball kind of night, and he was listening to the heavy shit. He had like Sepultura and Hatebreed and Lamb of God roaring through, and he said Pandora was really killing it. And then we were inside for a minute, and they started playing some softer stuff, and he started skipping and moving toward harder stuff. And just as I'm walking out the door, I believe it was a Five Finger Death Punch song that started playing, but there was this monologue over the beginning about honor. And at the last thing where he talked about honor, and I was out the door and click. It was like, man, I doubt the message was received by someone who needed to hear it. If I just turn around and walk away without a word, you done fucked up. So then I came home, ate some gas station hamburgers, Funyuns and nacho cheese, drank a couple beers, went to bed. I woke up, I feel good. Friday the 13th, that kind of bad luck, it's not like that. It is a wizard's moon tonight on a Friday the 13th. So, gonna be a fun one. Better goddamn well make some fucking money, though. The only saving grace I'm seeing of the situation is that I am interested to see how that fucking guy's new vehicle that he got, which is more prone to rolling, not as powerful, not as fast, will it make a difference in anybody else's ability to make money? And it's not just about the speed, but I'm trying to rule out all other rational explanations and possibilities before I get into let's find some kind of actual proof that the devil is aiding that fucking guy to piss people like me off. So far, the things that make me suspect are that on any given day, dude automatically receives tips that he does not deserve. And I'm not saying that to be a hater. What I'm saying is that from a karmic perspective, from a customer service perspective, from any way you slice a perspective, the guy's a piece of shit. Not a nice person. He'll act nice, but he's not nice. He will briefly admit from time to time that he, cherry picks his runs or whatever. Sometimes, and it's like, no, what that means from someone like that, a cluster B personality, is that literally every time that there is no one looking, and sometimes when people are looking, he does it. Which is why, number one, he knows where he's going. He knows where he's getting all. He said it before to me as well. So you just got to remember where all the good tips are. Yeah, bro, but I mean, if you come in and there's one order that's like, 10 minutes older than the rest of them, and the double you're taking is not that one, and you're the only driver, you're supposed to take that one. And if you can double something with that one, cool, right? If you can clear that with the management. But you don't just say, oh, well, this one's bullshit, I'm going to take these. You can't do that. That's not fair to anybody else. You're literally stealing money from other people when you do that. Aside from these, guy's an asshole, flips out on somebody in the store, talks shit. I know this guy drops N-bombs, terrible person, terrible, terrible person. Does not deserve any of the fucking good luck that he gets, any of the fucking rewards. Or as one of my other coworkers put it, that kind of good luck's got to have consequences. There's going to be consequences. So one of the funny things that happened, just, coincidence, I guess, was that his car started smelling like sulfur. Turns out his turbo was causing his engine to burn oil. And in burning oil, the oil smoke was clogging up his catalytic converters. And apparently something to do with petroleum and platinum releases some kind of sulfur dioxide or something. I don't know. Hydrogen sulfide. I don't know what was going on there. There's all hydrocarbons, right? But there's sulfur in there. And the guy who I call the devil's favorite, who gets blessings of Satan kind of tips just to piss good people off, who are like, man, I'm following the rules. I'm doing right by everybody else. I'm everything. I'm being the best I can. And watching this fucking scumbag take home the money that me and everybody else should be making. His car started smelling like demon farts, bro. So then he got a new car. I don't know. Like I said, we'll see if that new car makes a difference. I don't know, man. I never thought I would make it this far in life. I never thought I would survive this long. Everything from here is like open future for me. So, yeah. Happy Friday the 13th. I hope your Wizard's Moon Friday is a good one. I think tomorrow or Sunday may be the full moon, and if tomorrow's the full moon, then Saturday full moon madness. Should be interesting. I think that's all I got.